So we had a correspondence, it was from CVS Health. That was the performance bond dated back on September 19th, 2011, for $810,000. So, I believe we're all set with that. So,
I'll put that in the file.
it's been taken off. So, which I thought we did that some time ago.
Well, we approved it.
Approved it, it's never.
We approved to release the bond.
Released it, right, they just never released it, so
Right.
it's now
And I
being
think that
released.
is the memo releasing it, that's our signed copy.
Yep, that's the copy they sent to Kathy Kelly Regan for release. Okay.
Okay, just a real quick thing under administrative on recording secretary. Kathy has placed the ads in the Sentinel, the Town Reminder, and the Chicopee Register. It's on GCAM, and no responses so far.
Okay.
Okay? That was my 4 cents on that. Now, do you want to do the permitting guide next?
What's that?
Do you want to do the permitting guide
Yes, we can go over
before we
that.
get into the bylaws?
Yeah.
Because that's a little more,
Sure. We can start looking at the permitting guide update. This is a draft from November 20th, 2018.
Does everyone have a copy? I brought some extras.
I'm all set.
I made a couple little changes.
Are yours in color? No, no.
Hello, Jim.
Hey Jim, how you doing?
Thank you.
A couple little edits were made under,
grab all mine.
and I want to introduce Becky back to everyone. Hi, this is Becky.
Hello, Becky.
I'm Bob Sheehan.
I'm doing a lot of work on this updated permitting guide. And so, I don't know if you had a chance to look at it, and I just sent it before Thanksgiving, so I understand if you haven't. But basically, we tried to lay out the permitting process with some diagrams, and this document also has some links to the permits that are on your website and some of the documents that are on your website, so if someone opens a PDF, they can click on the link and it will go to those documents.
That's helpful.
So do you want to just go through page by page, or do you have any initial thoughts, comments?
I would like to go through page by page. I have two little picky on things, but
Okay.
some questions. And you also had a question on what kind of permits, page 5?
Well, if we go page by page, I'd like to
Okay.
go to page 3.
Okay.
Bottom of the page, Granby boards and departments. I don't see highway department nor tree warden listed. And the reason I bring that up is building permit for driveways has to be approved by the, there's a sign off on the building permit by the highway superintendent, talking about the driveways and line of sight, that kind of stuff. Tree warden, because we have several, I can't tell you how many, scenic roads in Granby, there was an issue a long time ago on Bachelor Street where a property owner cut roadside trees that were on a scenic way. So that should be discussed. Now, right now in Granby, the highway department and the highway superintendent and the tree warden are one and the same.
Okay.
So I'm just thinking that we might want to add that.
So it's the highways, is there a highway department, or is it, okay?
Yes,
So Dave DeRocher has both?
yes.
Okay. So I would put them in.
Pipe in here for me?
Absolutely.
If I could. I went through this a couple times. There's a few things in here, like, and we're gonna go through it page by page, I guess, but, this exceeded my expectations. This came out really, really well, especially with the flow charts. This is exactly what I think we've been looking for.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
This,
Good to hear.
We don't like it, scrap it.
Okay, so the first page, I use this guidance overview.
Yep. So page 3, now we're on page 4.
Yep.
I don't have any comments, anybody? No, Jim?
No.
He's waiting for his page. Page 5,
Now, I didn't have anything next to Board of Selectmen. I know they probably issue.
they do, what do you do, Glenn?
We do a lot of things.
But I think earth removal would be under that one.
and it's identified in
Board of
here.
Selectmen.
But for here, for this flow chart, it's kind of...
It's actually, they've changed the name to the select board.
Select Board, select,
Yeah,
okay.
it's the select board now.
Yeah,
We're official now?
It's official.
a lot of times they do liquor licenses or restaurant permits, that kind of thing.
Yeah. We do licensing.
So what do you want to put in that little square? On page 5. See down the bottom left? I had earth removal written in there, because they're,
Yeah, but isn't the earth removal on larger scales such as gravel pits and that kind of stuff, which is special permit?
correct.
Yeah, I mean, licensing's fine.
So,
Or you could put to be determined based on what the building inspector thinks.
Well, it's
this is kind of just a generic, what,
generic, right, so,
if we left it blank, people would say, I wonder too. No.
well, we got like town clerk, business permits, change of
Yeah.
use, DBA.
So what would you put for the select board?
Well, let me ask a question. Who else is this going to be shared with before it goes to press?
Who would you like to share?
Well,
I don't think it's gone to any of the other departments.
well, I think it's where it needs to go, right.
I think we should share it with them and
Right.
let them speak for themselves.
Okay.
When is our cutoff date, though? That this has to be completed by?
The end of the year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The 31st?
Yep.
yes.
Well, I think we can say, probably by the end of tonight, it's done, with the exception of some editing probably. And this is not something that will have to go to town,
No.
for a town approval. So this is like a living document. We're gonna wanna tweak this going forward, so,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
so,
And you'll put it on your website,
Sure.
so people can download it, you might have copies in the office.
So as far as
You can take it.
the grant went, or the funding went, we
Oh, yeah.
can say we're done with it, you know,
Right
for the
now.
most part.
Yeah, because you may not catch all of the departments before the end of the year.
Yeah, we'll get it out.
But we can tweak it after.
Right.
Yeah,
Give them a couple weeks.
If you need to have our time after the 31st, we can apply for LTA funding. Technical assistance, how many hours?
21, I think.
So,
If there's little things that need to be.
Yeah.
I imagine we have the whole month of December.
But then we would, once you're done with it and you release it, we'll have the
Yeah,
document to
send you
make
a Word
changes to
document,
and
yeah.
all that fun stuff. We can take care of that.
But again, I think we have the whole month of December. A lot of these boards will probably meet by then, and we can also send it off to, the highway department, the building department, town clerk, with a date asking them to return it, because it's gonna be updated.
Well, if we can get something to the Conservation Commission, they're meeting tomorrow night.
Right.
But regardless.
Yeah, it's good.
Right, I mean, they may say that's fine, keep it just like that.
Okay. On this,
under the state and federal permits, I will spell those out.
okay. The second paragraph on page 5, approval by a number of boards, you need an S in there. And so then you highlighted the technical review committee.
Yeah, do you have a technical review committee?
We don't call them that.
We don't have one.
Staff review, Was that, you do have
What we called the round table before.
a round table.
Would that
Yeah, but that-
basically be the
Yeah.
planning board or planning board and department?
They review by the others, but not approval. Right?
Right. But like with the latest solar project, I met with a group of the staff consisting so it's right, they didn't approve it, but they gave comments.
Right.
Yeah, this is the pre-application meeting, so it's if before they have final plans, if they want to just meet.
Yeah, well, ours don't normally meet until after they are pretty close to the final plans, right?
I think it can stay the way it is for now. I think you can call it a technical review, you can call it whatever you want, but you're
Identifying who's on it.
exactly, so
Yeah.
that's fine.
That was the only thing I had
And
there.
whether it's done by round table or if it's done by,
Input from the department heads or letters.
just dropping. the way
Individual
we-
responses?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. It's capturing the process.
Page 6.
I just have, a couple of picky space ones, but then under the first one, use regulations, you described in section 5 and then you name the section. You put the title there. On the next one, dimensional and density regulations, I added in section 3.2, dimensional and density regulations. The title, I was just following the sequence, but putting the name of that section and what section you're talking about.
Okay.
We'll go on that one in the overlay. And the performance standards and the special regulations.
Yes, I think, yeah.
You think that's too much overkill?
No,
Because people who are reading this really don't know any of the
Exactly.
material.
Yeah, this isn't for us.
Right.
Right.
The more information, the better.
it directs.
Yeah. And then use regulations, you got the title, dash, you need a space after the dash. And dimensional and density regulations, dash, need a space after the dash. Well, it's my pickiness for that too. And you can see where the hyperlinks are, the ones that are underlined.
Yeah.
That will get you back to a form.
Yeah, unfortunately, the zoning on your website is a Word document, so you can't actually do a link to the document. I can link to the page where the document is. So,
It's a Word document as opposed to a PDF.
yeah, on your website,
Can always fix that.
You change that to PDF.
And the zoning map, yeah, well, we didn't get, okay, that's everything else. Okay, page 7, we're okay with page?
And I have those times, right, because I think, I don't remember if it was this document. Once the application is filed, is it distributed within 15 days or 5 days? I think one said 15, one said 5. I'm sorry.
It's only the mouse, and he's not a quiet one. Thank you, Bob. My whole document just went to pieces here. Okay. Okay.
I think
Let's
it's
see, it says right in our bylaws, it said two different things?
Let me just see.
I would think 15 days is probably right, in the fact that there's so many part-time.
Well,
I may not say under special permits.
This is it.
Oh, it says review procedures, the Board of Health, Planning Board, Conservation, we can ask the Conservation Board for their review. Said boards and commissions shall within 30 days make a recommendation. That's on page 94 of our bylaw.
Okay, it does say on 96, like, within 5 days it's transmitted, so.
We're inconsistent.
Oh, no, it does say 2 different things, actually, sorry. So under 6.3.2 on the application, it says the planning board shall within 5 days.
Right, on the back.
One copy of each building inspector, and then the next page, it says planning board shall refer copies of the application within 15 days to the Conservation Commission Board of Health. So you might want to
And then failure boards recommend within 35 days, that's 35 as opposed to 30 on the other one, so they're not consistent.
It should read 15 days, because some of the boards don't meet every week, it's every 2 weeks,
yeah,
So,
to Bob's point.
probably the same for the special permit.
yes. Now, on the public hearing, board receives testimony from applicant and public and staff hearing is closed. We've got one that we've continued for a multitude of times, so I don't know if we want to say continued until finally closed, because if I looked at this, I would think after the first time we have a public hearing, even though we say we're continuing it, somebody might think that's it, that's all the time you've got. You've got to make a decision now. But if we've continued it,
Okay. So if it's continued,
eventually the hearing will be closed.
yeah,
Continued for more information or something like that.
Where are you at? Public hearing?
Public hearing.
Page 7, right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Board receives testimony from applicant, public, and staff. Hearing is closed.
Right, so what I'm saying is,
hearing may be continued to the next planning board
No,
meeting.
it just says, no, it shouldn't, it should just say hearing closed. If it's continued, self-explanatory.
We haven't closed the hearing.
Right.
okay, so you're not going to call it out, you're just
No.
going to leave it the way it is?
Yep.
Okay.
And the hearing's closed.
Just up a little bit, right under where it says within 15 days, the application distributed to fire, you have a comma after fire, you don't need that. And you need a period after department there and a period after police department. Other than that, I think that's exactly what it should be.
Yeah, just against, or it says Board of Selectmen, just change it to
Select
Select
Board.
Board. Wherever that may appear.
Now, it says at the top, you had a question on meeting with the building inspector and/or the planning board?
I just said and/or planning board, I wasn't sure, again, if you had a process for the application.
I think that's okay. Because we've had people come in beforehand.
You get to ask for direction, how to do something.
Yeah.
And would the building inspector be the right person for a pre-application? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, special permits, that's also 15.
Yeah. It's okay, we're not going to do it continued, and the select. Select board's not on this one.
Does the select board look at special permit? No.
They do that one for the earth.
Okay, so special permits is okay, or you still?
The removal of soil, loam, sand, gravel, rock, quarried stone, or other earth products. Special permit, Board of Selectmen, so they should be included in with the special permit.
So would they be a special permit granting authority potentially, or just review the application?
That's the only thing that they're granting authority for special permit.
For a mining operation.
Yeah, I don't know how you put that, because they're not really part of the process.
And you'd have to figure out which one they do.
Right.
So just leave it?
I would.
Okay.
Hopefully the pre-application meeting can
Yes.
organize everyone. At least to get a better idea of the process.
But for that process, they would have to follow the same exact.
Well, I can put in under the special permit granting authority, I'll put Board of Select Board for earth removal.
It's just that,
But then you're calling
That
out,
might be a little confusing.
yeah.
Right.
In the fact that, you're removing earth to build a home or
Oh,
to
yeah.
a roadway or something like that, as opposed to a mining operation. I see you're hesitant.
I'm not quite sure what you're trying to do here. Explain it to me. You're still on 7, right?
8, we're on 8,
Special permit.
special
Well,
permits.
Becky just said that she could put in earth removal process, but I don't want to confuse people with that the selectmen are involved in road construction or single-family
Right.
lots or commercial development.
I would say leave it out. Because you
Yeah.
get that in your pre-application.
And if there is such a permit that is requested, then it would automatically
Well,
go to the Board of Selectmen.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the way
For
it's written in
mining,
the
yeah.
bylaws.
But as far as everything else goes, 99.9%, this would be
Yes.
fine,
Right.
right?
I can make a note of it in the text, that select board is, reviews certain applications.
You
I
want us-
don't think you want it there, right, Bob? Because then if it poses a question, someone's gonna see it, and then they could question, well, what certain applications? Unless we're gonna list them. And I don't wanna confuse people, thinking, oh, I have to go to the board, the select board now. Unless we call exactly what we're referring to.
Right. If it's just one
Well,
thing,
we
you
Right.
could just identify that one thing, I mean.
Right.
Right, you could make a reference, a Board of Selectmen involved in whatever section,
Right.
you know.
Call it out, spell it out the way it is before.
They have to meet with,
Section 5.8, earth removal bylaw. It's on page 71.
Just as a reference in the text.
as far, well, it's saying special permit, pre-application, consulting zoning bylaw, meet with building inspector and/or planning board. Building inspector represents the
Right.
select board.
So if it comes up, he or she will be able to tell them, yeah.
He or she can tell them, yeah.
This procedure's, the same procedure applies, it's only governed by the select board.
Right. So you don't need to add anything then.
I think we're fine without it.
Yeah, we don't want to clutter it up too bad, I guess.
Page 9, you all set? This is where the highway department driveway permit comes in.
don't have any public water or sewer, right?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
There is public water in a couple of areas of town. There's also sewer in one main area in town here.
And not necessarily the same areas,
No, no,
unfortunately.
they actually don't overlap, but, well, they do. No, they don't at all.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So I'll add, I can add, if you don't need a septic system, you might have to go to the water or sewer. Is it water board or?
Yes. However, the select board is the sewer commissioners here in town.
Okay.
The water would fall under District 1, South Hadley Water Department, and District 2,
Two.
South Hadley Water Department.
Because that's where it's coming from?
Yes.
Okay.
Two different areas in town that have the water involved, each of the two South Hadley entities.
So they have to go to the town of South Hadley?
Mhm.
So I can just add a little box next to that. Need water, sewer. Page 9.
Think we're okay then? 10, bounding along. These flow charts do make it a lot easier to understand. I didn't have any changes. Do you have any changes? No, Rob? No?
If we go to the subdivision side, we come to file the application. Preliminary subdivision decision, board votes within 45 days. I can't remember, do we have a roundtable before that involve all the other concerns on the preliminary subdivision design?
I don't think we do on the preliminary one. Do we? Have to think back.
And the only one I know of is Munson, and
I can double check that. I actually, this chart was borrowed from another one, so I can double check and make sure that.
I don't know if we do or not. If we just say everything looks good theoretically here on paper and proceed to your final.
We haven't had a lot of subdivisions.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can usually do that. It's just a preliminary review to give them the direction they need to go in. We don't, basically, what we've done typically in the past is that they request waivers up front during the preliminary. And then we can give them a hint on whether or not it would be acceptable based on X, Y, and Z.
So maybe you could just say board makes recommendations and then they come back with a definitive plan.
I would say that sounds good. Does that sound good to you, Jim?
It's fine.
So no 45 days. So board makes recommendation.
Why would it be within 45 days?
Well, that needs to be followed up with MGL though, to see if that's not for a preliminary
Mass
plan.
General.
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay.
Because if there is a time frame set by, by the general law, we should make sure that it's there. That's correct.
It looks like it, under the definitive plan decision, where it's after 90 days, they have a preliminary plan, 135 out, so it comes out to the same number. So I guess that makes sense.
Looking up the bylaw.
Under variance. You get many variant requests for variances?
All the time.
Are we on the next page, or are we still on page 10?
I went to 11.
Okay.
I'm on 12.
I didn't have any changes on 11, did you, Jim? Or Rob? or-
Well, I've got, filing for an appeal. If the applicant believes the planning board or zoning enforcement officer misinterpreted the zoning bylaw, it's not just the applicant that can appeal the decision.
Okay. Right.
The butters are allowed to appeal as well,
Yeah.
depending on which way it goes.
Right.
So you're gonna say if anyone?
I would just say filing for an appeal.
Not the whole paragraph?
So change it with an applicant or a butter believes the planning board or something, and then they may appeal this decision.
Correct. If I'm not mistaken, those are the only ones that can appeal.
Right, I was gonna say, you don't want somebody from Newville Road trying to appeal a decision that was made
I
over.
don't think they have legal right to do that.
So it's gotta be spelled out, a butter and/or applicant.
But double check that with MGL to make sure that's, I'm pretty sure that,
some special other reason that people can appeal, but.
Right, because it makes you wonder if I feel they didn't act correctly, so why would someone else have the right to appeal it? Regardless if they're a butter, if I feel you didn't do something correctly by law.
Okay, we're all set with 11 then?
I am. 12 would be conservation, right? They should pipe in on that.
Yeah. Bounding right to 13?
Do you all have contacts, or are they all on the website for forwarding these to the appropriate?
Do we have what?
The contact people that we should forward this to, or should I just send it to you?
Or Kathy.
Yeah, I would say send it to Kathy and she can get it to the different boards.
Yeah, the different chairs for each board
And
or department.
yeah, I'll send her a heads up that it's coming and what to do with it. Send it and,
Treat it like a special permit. They've got 15 days to respond for comment.
okay, page 13. First paragraph, an online submission process. Online is one word, according to Merriam-Webster. And I was getting kind of, this chart goes, quite a few pages.
Yeah.
And I was trying to match it up with our chart. And there are things that are in different categories. So I don't know, the title.
Yeah, we sort of started doing this a couple different ways, and we weren't sure what would be the most useful. You do have a good table in the zoning that, says whether it needs site plan review or,
Right.
that doesn't necessarily include the other departments and the type of work that they would comment.
Right, there are some places, like once you get into commercial industrial, that we have some things under retail and services, residential, agricultural, institution, different headings that we had. So if they're trying to go back to our use chart,
Right.
they won't be able to find it under commercial and industrial, because we don't have one that's called commercial and industrial.
Okay.
I was just trying to figure out what, maybe I was just going off
We were
this,
sort of trying to set it into different categories,
which kind of makes sense to anybody that's trying to look up something as opposed to maybe a technical.
So you're saying you don't have any commercial industrial uses?
In the packet I gave you, I think, is use chart. You have, this one, the sideways one.
Right.
That's all of our use regulations. It's in your,
I mean, the business industrial, yeah.
down the bottom, the one that's sideways. Underneath here. So we have agricultural is the first one, and then,
yeah.
well, the bylaw numbers got left off at the last review, or the last change, so I just put them all in. And then need a few clarifications, but I was gonna wait on this until last time. So that's what I was going back to, this chart, to match up with what you've got in here. And
We
I-
could make that match. There's some things, that the Board of Health,
Right, and I went through all that, like I went through and I put down what category we have them in, so I could just, copy, make all this into a PDF and send it to you.
oh, okay.
You have to look.
Do you want us to reorganize it to match your?
What do you guys want?
I think we should.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great if you want to send me that.
Okay, I do have another question on page 13 under fences, greater than 6 feet. Not issued by the building department, that would be a special permit with the planning board, correct? Over 6 feet.
Yes, as well as, and I saw this, and this may be very minor, you cannot have a 6-foot-high fence on your front property line. 4 foot is maximum,
So you can put that in the
and
notes.
what we did with the solar is they moved the fences back 40 feet from the property line to achieve the 6-foot height. Looking at it like it was a structure, minimum setback requirements.
So fences issued by planning board and needs approval by planning board, and then the part that Bob was talking about.
And some of the words, they're cut off.
Yeah, I just noticed that too.
You need a
Yeah.
smaller
Just
font
needs
or a bigger block.
Yeah, okay.
formatting,
Big
yeah.
spaces.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then on the removal of soil, well, the select board just needs to be, Board of Selectmen needs to be select board. So, I don't know how you'd site plan / BS.
I don't know what that is actually.
Well,
Actually,
it was the
SB now.
abbreviation
Oh, select board.
for select board, yes.
Yes.
Board of Selectmen is what it was.
Yes, it's SB.
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 So now if it's just S,
Select board, SB.
and under signs, I don't think the select board
Easy
had
job.
anything to do with that,
I was thinking the same thing.
correct?
What's that?
Signs, select board down the bottom.
Yeah, I don't know why that was in there.
Okay, okay with number 13?
But with the building department getting involved to authorize the construction of said sign, even though we are the ones that approved the sign.
So, but,
That's why you think Board of Selectmen shouldn't be in there.
Right, and get rid of Board of Selectmen, but
Right.
building department,
No,
no?
no. Oh, I see what you're saying. Permit and license.
Right, because they're saying that he's,
The sign structure has to be approved, I would imagine.
so building,
the structure's gotta be right, exactly.
construction, repair, renovation, and demolition.
Probably shouldn't be in there. You don't need a permit to demolish a sign.
No, and we have our sign bylaw, which is on page 55.
And that's planning board, because we're talking about 1 and 2 family homes, right?
Yes, has sign,
So, building department and planning board?
No,
Nope,
planning
just
board.
planning board?
Planning board.
Well, if we go to page 14, the very top block, it says building department.
Right.
And I have to imagine that carries over from,
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, you could say the same thing for, what was the other one? Private garage or stables.
well, one, it's just say up there, Jim, it says exceeding 1,200 square feet. But that's if it's unattached. I mean, not to confuse people, but if people read it, so I'm building a house, 1 and 2 family homes, I'm gonna have my garage is 1,500 square feet, do I need a different permit for that? Well, no, not if it's attached to it.
right.
What are you looking at?
Private garage or stables exceeding 1,200 square feet in area?
Oh,
We should just
That's-
refer like
that's-
structure, a loan structure or something, or
No, it should be
No.
unattached. exceeding-
unattached, okay, that's fine.
Unattached private garage or stables? Is that what you're saying? Put it over there with that? Or in the middle?
I think you go right above where it says private garage and stables, just unattached
detached.
Detached.
or detached. Or unattached.
Well, then it's single.
Okay, so we're leaving the building department in under signs or not, Jim? You said no? Okay. You okay with that?
No, I think we should.
For those specific signs we're talking about. Construction, repair, renovation, and demolition. Did we, is that coming from someplace else, or is that just? No, we did that. Signs.
But our son, but
We also have to think about, well, I guess we do it, where the sign would be placed so that it doesn't interfere with line of sight traffic issues.
right.
But the construction of the sign, they could construct anything they wanted?
Whatever we allow.
It's our bylaw, we got a lot of pages on the sign.
Okay.
I know Bob's saying, so we allow it, who's inspecting it to make sure it's built correctly?
Zoning enforcement. Right.
Building inspector.
That wears the second hat,
Yeah.
zoning enforcement
Enforcement.
officer.
AKA building inspector. Or building inspector, AKA.
With that being said,
I
I mean,
just
it doesn't make a difference one way or the other, but if you're gonna put it there, you should put it everywhere else too.
Right, because the building inspector has to inspect.
Well, it is other places.
So leave it there,
Best I
just
can
to
tell,
be
it's,
consistent?
it is everywhere else
Right.
except for
Yeah.
stormwater management and the removal of
Wells.
soil, loam, sand,
Right.
gravel.
Wells and wood stoves and...
Yeah, but it's not, my point is, it's not on garages and stables.
Oh,
And it's on the other ones because those fall under building license, the building inspector. Plumbing, fences,
Right,
gas,
Right. So, because
electrical is all under the building department.
well, maybe we should have building department under detached or beside detached.
well, right, 'cause
Garages or
they're gonna be there. That department's, it's part of it. There's gotta be a building permit issued.
Whatever you want to do.
And wood stoves and wood boilers is the health department, that's also,
What's that?
the wood stoves and wood boilers, is that just fire department? Or is, I thought I said something for outside wood boilers, is the health.
Board of Health does have a regulation, so many feet. Or if I'm not, you can't quote me, but have to have a lot so large and you have to be so many feet from an abutter's dwelling. I don't think it makes any difference with your own, but yes, Board of Health, I believe, does have something.
And that's a wood, outdoor wood boiler.
That is, yes.
But wait a minute, is that something they permit, or is that something that they've created a bylaw for? And the building inspector is responsible for
Don't
enforcing
know
it?
the answer to that question.
We don't have anything about wood stoves and our bylaws.
I thought I saw it on the Board of Health page. I'll double check.
It could be a permit. I don't know.
Well, I'm not disagreeing that they don't need a permit, but we don't issue all permits, nor does the Board of Health. If it's not required, in other words, if the building inspector, look, it's like a sign. A sign doesn't necessarily have to come before us if it meets the requirements. They just go to the building inspector and get a permit for it.
And the building inspector checks the bylaws and says, you know, you're under the 9 square feet or whatever.
Correct.
It should be fine. I don't know about the wood stoves or the wood
Well,
boilers.
let's go back to that and say, leave that up to them to,
Well, who inspects the boilers? Or furnaces? Who makes
Well, I
the
would imagine the
furnaces?
fire department has a
Right.
heavy hand in it.
Right, so I imagine they'd be here too.
So we'll see if the fire department comes up with the...
yeah, let them worry about their stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it, under trenches, is that the building department or is that the highway department?
Building.
The building inspector issues the trench permits?
Yep. Highway's only got jurisdiction in the right-of-way.
No. In some, when they came out with, I think it's Melanie's law, it was left that either building inspector or highway super would grant the permit for digging a water line on private property, an electric line on private property. And it was up to each community to determine if it was going to be the building inspector or the highway department. And I'm not sure where it fell here in Granby. Building department does do it in Belchertown?
They do it in every community I pulled a permit for.
Oh, okay. Well, it just might be something to check, that's all.
Was
I
that
thought-
was
I
that
thought
the
they-
trenches you're talking about?
Yes, I thought Dave DeRoche had said something about he was gonna have to give the permits for trenches.
Now we're getting into, where I have all my little notes about what's under this in ours. Multifamily dwelling, first one. I think. Multifamily dwelling is under residential in our chart. Construction repair.
That's interesting. You go to the multifamily subdivision, we just talked about signs, and on that it says building department.
Where are you?
What goes under the,
Page
well, that's page
15 or
it's
13?
15, it's 14 to 15, because 14 talks about multifamily and subdivision. And then when it talks about signs, it has planning board, board of selectmen, building department. We just had that, the conversation prior to the single family, two family.
To take out the select board on that
Yes.
one.
Which one are you doing?
Page 15, signs.
Oh, I had a question mark on that.
Because we just had a discussion about
If you
real
want,
estate.
I could combine single and multi-family if that would be easier, because some of these are,
Let's switch.
Right, I think we had talked about that a little too, because then it was getting a little complicated with mixed use. But, yeah.
Because it just seems like everything's the same.
Yeah, we didn't have anything called mixed use on ours,
You didn't have anything, actually?
but multifamily dwelling.
Okay.
But we also have bed and breakfast, which isn't in here.
Okay.
that might be, oh, that's under commercial and industrial.
Oh, that's where you put it? Did I miss it? Yeah, I missed it, yep. No, but I did mark residential.
Yeah, we
That's
can
what
do
it's
that. I would like to, does it make sense to combine them, just so we can eliminate a few lines?
Well, the first one would be, you mean for mixed residential business?
No, I mean to combine single-family residential, family residential.
And not just keep,
Well, there are some, like, under the 1 and 2 family homes, and then under multifamily, there's a stormwater management for multifamily subdivision, but that's not our 1 or 2 family homes.
Right.
So we could specify.
You get, right, but mostly everything else is
Yeah.
a duplicate.
so we're gonna leave the title, let me go back a page here. 1 and 2 family homes, goes down to the wood stoves on page 13, and then a little bit on top over there. Then we're into multifamily and subdivision.
But I could just make one big section called residential.
Yeah, and then we get into some of these where we have that same title, but we have it under a different section. I don't know, I don't want to get too far ahead here.
Well, so for residential in your table on the zoning, is it all in one?
They have single family, multiple family,
Right.
bed and breakfast, age-related housing.
Yeah, so maybe I should just put it all under residential, because I don't match your other table. I can just follow those.
Okay. So, go back here. So 13, just should, instead of saying 1 and 2 family, just residential?
Yeah, and then I'll just combine the ones that are the same, or I'll add the ones that,
Does that make it clear? This is our chart here, our use
I'm
chart,
just wondering,
that
okay.
you have right there.
Yeah,
So back on page 13, the title of, instead of 1 and 2 family homes will be residential,
residential.
which will match our
Right.
chart. And the next one on page 14 is just continuations, where you take that title out. Bed and breakfast, I'm going to scratch that. On open space community, on page 14, issued by the planning board and the Board of Health. Page 48, let's go to page 48.
Is that for the septic system?
Purposes of open space. No requirements.
The open space community, the permit is not issued by the Board of Health. It's a process. They're going, if it's that type of community, the Board of Health probably won't have much to do with it, because it'll be on a septic, sewer system, not. But they're still not the permitting authority. It's another step they have to go through,
Right.
like a building inspector or electrical inspector or whatever, but
On page 51, the 5.19 procedures and pre-application review just mentions the planning board approval of a special permit. So,
I'll take out Board of Health, 'cause if it's a special permit, the Board of Health will probably see it anyway, right?
yeah, and you have that listed, special permit planning board SPA. We have a spa. And rest home, convalescent, or nursing home?
What does the Board of Health have to do with new streets for subdivisions, residential?
no.
On the rest homes, I'm sorry.
And
You're still on rest homes?
I'm still
Sorry.
resting at the rest home.
I moved on.
Notes, I have a special permit, planning board, zoning restrictions. Right? That's under rest home, convalescent nursing home. Yep, that's under,
Must be site plan approval as well.
yep,
Yeah, it's the same as the one above.
Yeah.
yep, that's actually under institutional in our category.
Oh.
And when you look down the notes column, when you say planning board, special permit, planning board, site plan approval, then there's, if in fact the highway or the Board of Health had anything to do with it, there should be some,
Right,
So that's the 2 subdivisions?
yeah, it's on all of those, they don't have anything to,
Yeah.
Okay, so just planning board. Electrical work is the building?
falls under a building permit. Electrical, plumbing, HVAC,
Did
sprinklers.
you have any more on that page? 14?
No, it's just,
15?
Well, other than
Other
on
than,
14 subdivisions, comma, residential, parentheses, new streets, we should get rid of Board of Health and Highway Department there as well.
yes.
yeah, I think so.
that's what we just
I'm
said.
sorry,
Yeah.
did you already say that?
You were reading, that's why you
right.
Okay,
That's
page
why I skipped ahead.
page 15.
Rose when I left the room.
Fences. Planning board, greater than 6 feet.
Same thing that we did for the,
Yeah. And signs, we're back to signs here, construction, repair, renovation, demolition.
the same thing.
Yeah, so that'll be the same as the other one, just the planning board.
No, building department too.
Right.
Yes, we added that into the other one.
We took it out, right?
No, we added it in. It wasn't in the other one.
Building department?
Right.
It was at the beginning of page 14. The rest of that square, the rest of this one,
Oh, was it?
on the next page.
I thought we left it.
Oh, no, it was, okay, so we left it.
Okay, I had it that Becky was gonna check, so we'll leave it in for now. The building department on page 14. Okay.
And again, on page 15, the detached private garage and stables. And removal of soil loam, select board again.
Well, she's gonna combine some of these, so.
Oh, okay.
That's what she said, she's gonna take it, says, instead of being 1 and 2 family homes and
The categories just.
the categories could be residential.
Yeah.
We'll pull some of them together, because there are duplicates.
Storm management, trenches, building, wells, Board of Health. Now, commercial and industrial. Commercial buildings, construction, repair, and alteration.
Okay, that's to be continued on to page 16.
Yeah.
We don't have that category in ours at all.
Which one?
The commercial buildings,
Okay.
Oh, is it as a header?
as anything listed here. The first one was agricultural. So you're calling it commercial buildings. We have commercial landing strip, commercial golf course, commercial boarding stable, commercial livestock, that's all.
Well, commercial would fall under land use classification, retail and service, 3.5. Would that be correct?
So, yeah, I guess we can reorganize this to be closer down here.
Do we even need that in here? Commercial buildings. I think we're pretty specific in the
Yeah.
land use, but we
Yeah,
don't have
sure.
anything called commercial.
Match what you have more closely.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out which one it would be.
It's almost like our commercial is retail and services.
Yeah. Retail and services.
So you would have to pick a category where that would fit in, because we don't have anything about construction, repair, alteration. Jim, I'm guessing that's because you were probably lumping that under the project, whatever project it was. That would be like the solar or a private museum and all that. All the construction, repair and all that would fall under that, I would assume.
Yeah, the other thing is, somewhere here in the beginning, there should be a note that this is only to be used as a guideline. This is not, these are not our bylaws, these are not.
I think I did put that
Yeah,
on
I
first.
seem to remember that.
I don't remember seeing it.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's on page
This is how to use this.
4, how to use. Since this document is only a guide, however, the last sentence.
I can highlight it.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay, on page
Okay.
15.
All right. Maybe highlight it.
Yeah.
Put on the- Because if that's
Bless you.
No, okay, zoning fields, the removal of soil, no, I'm on page 15. The select board, you probably got that one already.
Yeah.
And then under signs, we're taking out the select board, and you're checking on the building department.
Yeah.
And then we came to the commercial buildings, which threw me off completely.
She'll give you a revised version, and when she sends it out to the other boards and committees, you can maybe comment on that, focus on the chart,
Okay.
see if it works better.
Okay, and on page 6, are we done with 15? Have we lost you? You're so far ahead there. I see a 17.
I just have to flip it the other way.
Okay, 16. The auto service station, auto repair is under our retail and services. Actually,
That's why I was thinking that commercial and industrial should be called as a heading, retail and services.
Yeah.
But then you also,
I'll reorganize it to use
Yeah.
it.
because you also go into wholesale and industrial,
Right, that
Else-
will be split out.
that's what applies to that too, I mean,
so, and yeah, and I can, because like the next one's, the bed and breakfast is under residential, the next one's under agricultural, and that's under institutional. And under golf courses, we call it commercial golf course. And that's under agricultural, believe it or not. And on the,
Should-
yep, go ahead.
While you're at golf courses, and this happens down below again, special permit / planning board site plan approval, but the zoning board of appeals is there too. Should we have the ZBA in the site plan and special?
And the notes?
Yeah.
It should be if you think that, if they belong in there, yes.
And we hit that same thing, where did I just see it?
Hunting, fishing, and ski grounds,
Yeah,
that's, oh, and on the hospital, sanitarium, funeral home established. The hospital and sanitarium we have under institutional, and the funeral under retail and services.
Okay.
And large-scale ground-mounted solar, we have it under retail and services, but then site plan and special, and, yes? And site plan approval.
Instead of
Special,
trying to categorize this back to our bylaws, maybe we should just get rid of the headings 1 and 2 family and just read down and just leave it permits and licenses.
that would probably make it a lot easier for you guys.
Just combine all of them.
Yeah, don't put any heading.
We were feeling that was just getting long, and it would be hard for somebody to find what they were looking for, but
well, you're right, if someone's using this as a guide and I want to find out about building a house, it should be, be a section I should go to, try to kind of look down everything. Like,
Yeah, otherwise they'd have to go through 4 or 5 pages of the chart.
I just think we don't have anything labeled commercial or industrial, so I think we can call our next one, instead of commercial industrial, maybe it's retail and services and wholesale industrial transportation, because that would all fall under some of the same things that are in these two areas are also in this part,
Yeah,
on pages 16 and 17.
the lumberyard, and then the next one, manufacturing, processing, fabrication, assembly of storage materials, and the one after that, we all have under wholesale, industrial, and transportation. So those three.
Yeah, just like we combined all residential together, maybe we can combine, maybe that was the thought process when we came up with commercial, the end commercial.
And under mixed residential slash business, we have kind of spelled out where uses are located in the same building. It's kind of it's under retail and commercial. Let me find that one.
I'd say at the end of retail and service, mixed-use residential.
Yeah. And then in this middle, we have where uses are located in the same building. So I don't know if you wanted to put that in there too, or just let them find it in the bylaw?
I can put it under purpose.
Is that okay?
I'm fine with that.
You okay with that?
Rob, you okay with that?
I'm okay with
Okay.
Jim, you okay?
I'm absolutely fine.
Neighborhood or community, wait a minute,
I'll make that mine. Yeah.
clubhouse.
Clubhouse
There
headquarters
we
of
go.
fraternal organization.
We have that under institutional for residents of Granby, okay. So we're on to page 17. We kind of oozed over from the last one. And I'll send you, just about everyone is in a different category. I have question under recreational camping for transient guests. And here we call it commercial, residential. Commercial, wait on here. Commercial, recreational camping for transient guests is what we call it. And I don't know if you want to add to the last column, zoning restrictions. Now, the research or development laboratory. Planning, the Board of Health, I don't think needs to be part of that, do they?
No.
And that was under wholesale, institutional, what am I looking for?
Wholesale, industrial,
Research and
transportation.
Research and development. It says, for uses consistent of definition of renewable or alternative energy for that particular one. I don't, as long as you have zoning restrictions, and, let me find that again. Research. Special permit and site plan approval of the Board of Health. So you need to add special permit for that.
And if you do want Board of Health in there?
No, I don't think so, as long as you're putting just the planning board.
Right, okay.
Subdivisions, planning board. I would add where you don't have zoning restrictions. We have zoning restrictions on subdivision locations?
Yeah, they can't go in an industrial.
Okay,
zone.
so add zoning restrictions to the subdivision, commercial, new streets, and no new streets. Site plan approval, maybe waived. Okay. Telephone exchange. Those were just under different categories. We okay with 17? Look, it's thinning out.
Bowling alley.
It's allowed. And then for the businesses, you'd have to do select board.
Yep.
Commercial services, restaurant, tanning salons. I don't know if that was in ours anywhere.
There's actually one word, restaurant, tanning salons. It's a strange combination, but
Let's see, commercial services. Private clubs. Resident tanning salons, hotels, motels, milk and oleo, frozen desserts. Were you hungry when you did that one?
Been on the website.
That's an old law. You need an oleo license.
Oh, really?
Oh, is that what it is?
Board of Health issues that.
Oh, it might be, for the sewer, you know, if there's a discharge and oil is a big problem.
No, it was something, I think it goes back to the 20s or 30s. Yeah, I remember seeing those permits in the Board of Health office.
Yeah, we don't have anything that covers that. Let me go back to looking up just,
it's the reason why,
hotels.
like body art, tobacco sales, temporary food, it's all underlined.
There are links.
The links, oh, that's what's, okay.
Yeah.
Those are
And
hyperlinks.
So these are for business licenses. but
Okay.
In the notes, we have site plan approval, so I'm not sure if that's correct there.
Yeah, and I'm,
If it's just a service and you're issuing a license, it would probably just be the Board of Health or with the...
Well, wouldn't it be a site plan, someone's having a restaurant, site plan approval for parking
Not
and,
if they're using the existing building.
restaurant, taverns,
Then it
and
would be a Board of
retail
Health issue.
services.
boys, if it's a change of use though. So if I have a building, it's a library, and I wanna have a restaurant,
Didn't think a change of use.
So if it's a change in use, it would need planning.
It would be
board.
planning board, but this is just for business licenses.
oh, okay.
And all the way
Right.
down where it says motor vehicles, that's select board. Home professional business office studios, that's already covered. You don't need a license.
Accessory uses, that's on there.
Business office studio, you don't need a license for that. Or a permit. That I'm aware of.
Accessory uses,
So that,
home shop.
okay, so this is a business licenses, okay, I got you.
So
Right.
you're saying home professional business does not need planning board or does it need a...
Well, it does need planning board, but that's
It's
not under business.
It's just referring to,
Right.
right, I read this as who's the authority issuing the license for a
Correct.
business license, that's what that's talking about.
For these businesses, Board of Selectmen,
Well,
bowling alley, you don't need a license for that.
Yeah. Okay.
no, on the home shop, that's, ZBA has site plan approval on that.
But it's just, maybe it's just the heading that it's throwing it out, because it says business licenses.
Yeah, I mean, if that's not useful, we'll just
Right.
plan some of these for the rest.
No, I think it's helpful because if you're looking for a license for these, for certain things, you need to know
Right.
that you have to go to the select board for them.
Right.
Right, that kind of pertains to that,
Planning
That
board
one area.
doesn't issue licenses.
Yeah,
Right.
so, but a bowling alley,
Doesn't require a license, it just requires, it may require a special permit or a site plan approval depending on where it is,
okay.
zoning.
but that's any business, really.
That's why it doesn't belong on
Right.
this category, is what I'm trying to
How
say.
about home shop, do you need a license for that?
No, you do not.
ZBA, special permit, ZBA, site plan approval.
But that wouldn't be under licensing.
Yeah.
That's what just keeps on, we're just talking, 'cause the heading is business licenses. So just kind of refer back to it.
So who, the ZBA and planning board,
So it's really just the businesses, commercial services, and sale of motor vehicles? that have
Correct.
a license.
that go under permit, or under business licenses?
Correct.
So
And one of the other categories.
which ones are leaving this business license category?
Bowling alley goes,
Home shop goes,
Home professional
What about
office
fast
studio?
food?
fast food goes,
Yeah.
and home shop and home professional business office studio goes.
And should those two go under residential since they're,
Right now, they're under accessory uses.
Yeah, they're already up, I think I already saw them in there.
They're under accessory, bowling alley is under retail and services, as well as the fast food. What about sale of used motor vehicles?
That stays, that's select board.
but it's just like,
They're the licensing authority there.
So not the planning board
No.
there,
no.
We don't grant licenses of any type.
but that one stays on there.
Correct.
Okay, I got it. And the home shop,
I would imagine it must say sale of new or used motor vehicles. This is weird, it says used, it should be new or used.
It should say new or used, correct. But that'll be up to the planning board, or the select board to,
But if you're wondering who, if I want to open a business to sell new cars, it should say new.
either or, yep.
Yep.
We kind of got into that before.
It came up for something else before.
It came up for something else before. The select board wouldn't issue a license for X amount of cars for that property, or for that applicant for that property, until the planning board approved the site plan
right,
to see if it was, if the property suited that many vehicles. So,
so you want to leave it under planning board?
no, we're not, we still don't license.
Do licenses.
So
Site plan
special
approval.
permits, planning board zoning restrictions doesn't apply on this one.
No, because this is just for who's it?
No, I'm
who's
just
gonna license.
saying, sometimes they won't approve a permit or a license until there's been a
Site plan.
site plan approval.
so
So,
I might just add their site plan, special permit or site plan approval may be required.
Yeah, this is only a guide, so they know that,
Right.
because, you know, which happens first.
Right.
Right.
chicken or the egg? So home shop, are you leaving highway department? This is going, that's just a,
No, because they don't issue a license.
but that one's going to, out of licenses.
Oh, where are you sending it?
We have it already in accessory uses.
We're just deleting them right here on this.
Yeah, you can put it in accessory use if you want to.
But we're taking the highway department out.
Right.
Okay. It's sinking in. So last of that, any other questions? On that page? On to 19?
No, on to 20, because none of.
Well, the only thing I have, just as a suggestion, you've got each office there or department. But then, and you have office and contact highlighted so they can see it, but it kind of blends right into the paragraph above it. Can you put one space between that?
Sure.
I know it's gonna, on all of them, that way it doesn't look like it's quite so much.
And there we should also add highway and tree warden.
Right. And I didn't have an office or contact for the Historic District Commission.
I don't know who that is. I don't know.
Last I heard, Steve Nally is the chair.
Steve Natalie.
Steve Nally.
Would all calls go into Kathy?
I would probably say Kathy then, to make it a central point
What's that for?
for the Historic District Commission. There's no contact information there.
I would send it there. I mean, she,
And
now that Kathy wants more phone calls.
on the planning board, you have our newest number there. Rob is the contact.
Changed it to Kathy already.
Yeah, I got the change, I'm not on there.
Yeah, how that goes, Rob? New guy, give me the stuff.
And that's all I had on that page.
So it says Granby boards and departments. Was there a reason why it says permits issued? Anyway, that's just so you know who issues the permits, those departments or something?
Conservation, don't they give permits, don't they?
I'm just wondering why that was the whole thing of all the chart before that, wasn't it?
Oh,
All these charts before that, wasn't that the whole purpose of all the charts?
yeah. Let me see the
It says, there are links to some of the permits.
Oh, is that what it is? So it's like maybe it goes to the
Yeah.
application, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay,
Like
all right.
the bottom one.
I could
Yeah,
change
you've
permit
got some.
forms. and
Yeah.
things.
So,
I see what you're saying now.
under conservation,
Yeah, I need to, I
Fill
couldn't
in.
find any forms there, I think. I can put something in there. It would be the,
Mistake.
We should make sure too that all these forms are correct and updated.
right,
ours are.
Well, no, I think each department, they're gonna be on here, and this is something we're issuing, and we're gonna send them to a certain form, and it's not current or correct, 'cause,
Oh, and under fire department, under permits issued, just, I would assume you would capital this S in state of Massachusetts. I just saw that. Just jumped right out.
What boards are elected, other than the select board, the planning board? Are the assessors elected? Or
Yes.
Yes?
yeah.
Board of Health is
The
elected.
Board of Health is elected. Conservation, appointed.
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 Well, they're appointed.
Historic Commission,
I think appointed.
When they're appointed. Yep, they're appointed.
Zoning Board of Appeals,
Appointed.
so assessors, Board of Health, Board of Selectmen, and Planning Board are the only elected.
How about the tree warden? That's an elected,
It
Appointed.
is.
appointed.
Used to be elected.
Okay.
See, we
And
found
that
out
was
what we said.
removed along with Commissioner of Trust Funds.
Because I just remember years ago seeing it, tree
Yeah.
warden.
And the Board of Health will have to go through I'm on page 21, through the fees that they have. And the building department, on 22. Conservation on 23. Planning board, we're in the midst of changing our fees, but I don't think it should get in here yet until the town approves it. So that's gonna be a little while. Other than that,
And we should have subdivision in there too, right? Subdivision.
What was that?
We should have subdivision approval fees in here too.
well, in that other packet,
Is it approval or is it?
that's what changed.
Subdivision review.
Filing.
Fee schedule.
We have an 8R in here too, though, we have that, so.
Don't the key here.
You know,
Building department fees also.
it may be worth reminding, these are subject to change probably more often than any of the bylaws.
Right.
Yeah,
They should refer,
So they should refer to the town website or the town clerk or what?
I would think the town website,
website.
Okay.
because that would be the latest one
Correct.
that's there. That was approved.
Why not then, I guess if you have a lot of the fees and everything here, and we're saying that the town website is gonna be the accurate one, a correct one, why not just have that there, they refer to,
I was just thinking that maybe I could separate this out as a separate document.
because why have things that could not be at one point correct?
Right.
If we're
Is there
saying
a
that,
whole list of fee schedules on the town website, or do you have to go by department?
I think you have to go by department. We actually, our intern put this list together, so I think she went through all the different department web pages. Not sure what the best thing.
For informational purposes, just to have it here, I don't see,
you know, what I'm saying, but I don't wanna see 5 years go by and all these other things, fees are updated and this stayed the same.
well, that's why Jim said.
I understand
Yeah,
that,
okay.
If we have it-
Eliminate that whole
but, right,
premise.
Yeah.
And just go to the website.
if it's,
on the Granby
right,
website.
if it's on the website and you can
yeah, just.
indicate what area to go to.
Please refer to the website for the,
I can send it to Kathy Leonard and just see. What is she the one who does the website?
I
Yes,
believe so.
she and Chris, right?
Yes.
That's the end of that one.
A lot of work went into this, ladies.
Yes.
Nice job.
Alright, I tried to get these edits done.
this could be our cheat sheet now, right?
Yeah.
So if we get the edits done by the end of the week, so you can send them out.
Well, you only got our edits, so why not just wait until the other ones come in? You know, if there's any feedback, and then,
I'm just thinking I should make these edits and then send them to the other folks so that they're,
well,
Yeah, that way Board of Health isn't crossing out the same thing. Right?
I
You're
suppose,
saying-
okay, if you can do that soon enough so that we can get it out to
I can
them.
probably at least do everything up to the permits reorganizing, may take a little longer.
We could just put a note in that.
Yeah.
That we're going to, that will make that match the use table, and we're working on that.
And don't let them edit any of our stuff.
Yeah. So for their edits, do you think they will be able to email me those or
They should,
give you a hard
I would
copy?
think. Unless,
I can't speak for them.
Well, the only way they can email it is if you email it to them, they'll be able to change it and
well,
send it back
should
to you.
Kathy be
You
collecting
know,
them?
if you could get something out to Conservation and Board of Health, they're both meeting tomorrow night.
Oh, okay, I can,
And what's scaring me is that we're coming up to the holidays here.
yeah, right.
Right.
Grab as many days pre-Christmas that we can before,
Right, there's no guarantee they're gonna meet again after.
right.
I can tell them to especially look at their sections.
Mhm.
And get minutes on those.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kathy can get the packet to them
Right.
a lot easier than we can.
Okay.
Well, Jean can get it to the Board of Health. The Board of Health clerk.
Okay.
But do you want to let Kathy know the
Oh.
name so we know they all responded?
I guess if you're gonna go in such a direction, it makes sense.
Right, there's gonna be one contact person, so they know
Yeah.
the checks, yes, yes, yes.
So you will make the changes and tonight before you go to bed? And,
So not you, Lillian, not you.
Yeah.
We'll have that by 2 in the morning?
There's only one will.
I will email this version to the board of health, or to Kathy and Jean tomorrow, and then I'll try.
just to Kathy and let her distribute them out from there so she can, does that work for you guys?
So should I tell her other than?
That's fine, you're gonna let Kathy know, so she's not wondering why.
Yes, I give her a heads up every
Yep.
day when I have something like this. This is coming your way.
So she should send them to all the boards listed.
Yeah, she actually has her their mailboxes there and she can let conservation know. And who else? Board of Health?
Board of Health.
Yeah.
Well, you could CC Jean.
Okay.
Do you have her address?
Well, Kathy may have it, and Kathy
Yeah.
can send it to her, too.
There's a link, if you go on the town website, there is a link to Jean.
So the other departments to get their responses back to Kathy Leonard. And then she'll forward it to us. And,
Well, not forwarded to us, to
Yeah.
Becky and Sue.
well, if we can, I don't know, it'll probably be, what, 4 emails or something?
But why do we have to get involved in their edits?
Getting involved how? I'm just trying to have one spot where all of the responses come in.
Such as to Kathy and CC Becky and Sue.
Yeah. And that way you'll know which ones came in and which ones didn't. And Kathy can remind them which ones, a lot quicker than we can.
Yeah, I think you need a point person. A
And
gatekeeper
they should only be looking at what applies
to them.
to them.
Right.
Any other edits, most of it should be their flow charts if they have a discrepancy on that. As far as the permits and licensing, obviously if they've got an issue with something, it should go through us to make sure that it's not affecting something else, that they understand what this process is all about.
And also should be some type of, as you said, Bob, a heads up or introduction to know why it's coming to them.
Yeah, I'll send that to her.
We know what it's all about, we've been working on it.
I'll tell her Glenn said,
They may just say, what's this? What's this?
you just added another thing to my plate that she doesn't need.
And
Okay?
Will, you're gonna email me your table.
Yes, I will scan everything in to PDF and send it out tonight. All set with that?
The smart program?
Matt, did you need me for anything else? Lisa's bylaw?
Yeah, we got bylaws, what do you want to do? I have a lot of things there, I know you want to get out of here.
Well, the things that you have, right, but,
You have this and you have this.
yep. But it's everything that we had discussed before, and I did see that letter, or that email from Attorney O'Toole,
Yeah.
saying that everything looked,
Except for the ADA on the,
right, it should be
sidewalks.
spelled out as.
Right.
but we do need to get the wording, vote on the wording for the special for bylaw 6.2, special permit subsection. And then, if you follow that email, there you go, down, last one over there. The last page of that. Oh, went past.
I have it.
So page 3 of the,
Oh, page 3.
And actually, the bylaw is at the back of the packet.
It looks like this. It's in the packet. Undo your packet. Undo it. It's inside the packet.
It says roadway design.
Yep, thank you.
Okay.
Have a good
Now,
night.
Special permits. You all have this one,
So it's this.
which is at the back of
The
your
back one.
packet you got there.
That's the page she's talking about here.
Okay, oh, you're almost there, Jim.
Yeah, you're there. We'll buy it again.
He took it apart.
Okay.
Keep going.
This is what you're talking
Okay, the
about.
very last paragraph, the big long paragraph on there says, we want to change section 6.21 under special permits. Is it okay? Right here. Could this be changed to something as simple as referred to section 3.0, schedule of use regulations for special permit granting authorities? And this shows you what I'm talking about.
Is that on the previous page?
No, it's like 4 pages past that one. Looks like this.
You get that one? At the very end, the last one in that packet.
93.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's like 4 pages, two-sided. There you go. It's section 6.21.
I've had the benefit of sitting next to Lil now for a while. She can keep me on task with the things.
I haven't brought the ruler out yet. Okay, see, this is the potential wording that we need.
right, saw that, the current wording in there.
January about it says 6.21.
Okay, so what we're saying is, where it says the zoning board of appeals shall be a special permit granting authority for all other uses, requiring a special permit except for earth removal.
Well,
So that needs to come out, is what we're saying.
yes, it needs to be changed to
Planning board.
refer to section 3.0 schedule, instead of listing everybody like that. And this is at the end of the paper you have curled over there. Okay. Yep. The end of the, there you got it. The email that Kathy, that I forwarded to you with the attorney saying, yes, it looks fine, at the end of that email is the wording, potential wording, and seeing as he was fine with everything, guessing he's fine with that. So, are we all confused now?
No.
No? This-
No, I know exactly what you're saying.
You're talking about
I'm just trying to make it
Where,
simple.
where do you have, where's the correct wording that they recommended? On what page?
He didn't, okay, go to his email there.
All right, so you're just saying instead of having everybody listed, we should say refer to section 3.0.
Which is the end of this email from the attorney. Okay, and it's the next page. Go the other way, Jim. It's,
Right above your, right, your name? Yeah.
Oh.
6.2?
yep,
Yeah.
Right here, it says Chris, right? No. it's
Okay,
something.
yeah. And here's the wording here.
Right.
This is
Yeah, I
page,
got that.
the next
Yeah,
page, yeah.
Right.
So if we say refer to section 3.0, blah, blah, blah,
He's
That's fine.
saying-
he said he was okay. He didn't say, he said they all looked okay except for the ADA. So we'll need two motions, one to spell out ADA for that particular bylaw,
Let's do
and,
that now.
Okay.
okay,
I'll make a motion that we spell out the bylaw using Americans with Disability Act as opposed to ADA.
America's, I'm sorry,
Americans with Disabilities Act, as opposed to the reference that we made as solely ADA.
okay, and that was under,
Right, but just so we
Section 7.
just a discussion before we go forward with that, Bob. There's nowhere else that we refer to that, right? That would be,
no, what he got was
you didn't see it anywhere?
the fee schedule, what you have in here, in your packet, the single-family dwelling on estate lots, and added business estate lots, that was a new one, and the sidewalks, which is where the ADA comes in.
I mean, either way, it's fine. I
So
mean,
here's,
I mean, it doesn't
here's
matter
what we
if it
did,
says
we
it's somewhere else or not.
construct sidewalks to be in compliance with ADA requirements.
But he was saying and anywhere else doesn't refer to
And any other
Americans with
bylaws,
Disability Act,
I
ADA. Because
don't,
if it says it somewhere before that, it's okay to have it say ADA there. But I think we're fine, just put it in like you just said, so.
so Bobby made a motion to change ADA, if I can spell it,
ADA.
under bylaw 7.01, roadway design, subsection 8, sidewalks, to Americans with Disabilities Act.
Disabilities.
You want me to read all that again? You're totally confused?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. Okay, there's one. Now, the other one is for bylaw 6.2, special permits 6.21, special permit granting authorities. So, motion to change to, quote,
Have
refer,
we discussed this enough?
I don't know, have we? Anybody have any questions?
No, it's all he's saying is that instead of it saying zoning board of appeals, instead of it saying,
The bylaws contradict itself
Right.
from the chart to the
Right.
the verbiage. and-
let's refer to section 3.0.
The verbiage or the narrative in there supersedes the chart.
Right,
So
So-
by changing the wording on
6.21, 6.21.
will reflect what the chart has, and that's the way it should be.
That's your motion.
No, that's not the motion.
You want,
You want to know if
That's the explanation.
you want me to, I can make a motion, you want me to do, okay. I make a motion to change, oops, bylaws 6.2, special permit subsection 6.21, to refer to section 3.0, schedule of use regulations for special permit granting authorities.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Anybody? No?
Aye.
Okay.
I was an aye.
How's it?
So that takes care of those. Now, the other one, if you want to wait, if you want to get out of here,
We're here.
but you can have some reading material to take home.
What's the next one?
This is the
Leslie homework.
schedule of use. Now, I have highlighted things in purple
Oh,
that I think need to be clearer, because they're just that part confuses me. And then when you get to the actual table, I've added the bylaw number. And there's some where they didn't have anything at all on the first page, over to the far right. There was nothing in the village center,
So you add in yes.
so I added yeses all the way down to conservation land. Next page, yeah, if you want, I can go through this, otherwise you can do it. I haven't been
We're
to it.
halfway there.
Okay, so the second page, and of course, these pages are not numbered because they're going into the bigger documents. Single-family dwelling on a state lot. I have subject to section 5.4 because we just were rearranging that.
Yep.
And then the next one, multifamily dwelling, I just added the title, special use regulations and performance standards is the actual title.
Okay, these changes do not require town approval. These are just edits.
Edits, yes. So we don't have to go through the, and I believe the ZBA has 5 categories that they can prove. Everybody else is planning, or it's already got that. We get down to solar, 3.5.20. Large scale ground mounted, I added in site board, special approval, planning board site plan approval. So the planning board's the whole thing there. And the next one, mixed residential / business, site plan, special permit, planning board, SB, it's just kind of, it was left off on the other, on that same line, but in other
Same line.
categories. Bounding run along, oh yes, so, now we come to the purple. 3.6.6. Sanitary landfill, solid waste management and recycling. You got that? Are we there? Jim, 3.6.6? There was nothing in industrial 2, is that what you call it?
Industrial too, right?
Industrial district, yes, but there wasn't anything there, and I put in a yes, that
Okay.
it's allowed. There isn't any, we don't have to do a site plan approval on that, do we, or a special permit?
Yes. It's allowed, but so you don't need a special permit, but you need a site plan approval.
Right.
Okay, so I will add site plan, planning board to that one. Otherwise, and that's just in that industrial section. We don't have, do we even, the question is, it was left blank before. All the rest of the line says no for all the other categories, all the other zones. Should this be a no too?
Well, if that's the case, you don't allow it anywhere in town.
Correct.
Say that again, Will. 3.67?
3.6
6.6.
for sanitary landfill, solid waste. So she's saying where she has a Y now, which is purple.
Yep.
It was blank before, there was nothing there.
All right. So what we need to do then is we need to go back and see if it got missed
The old one?
on the old one, if it's in fact is an edit.
You mean check with the town clerk?
That's right.
No, I got, the one before this one, I've got, this is the permitting guide.
We allow a sanitary landfill or not? Going by
This
this.
is the old,
Would we? Would we?
Yeah,
We have one there.
we had,
we had one there. We don't anymore.
Well, it's not operating, but it's there. I mean, you're not still filling it, but it's there.
this is the chart from the bylaws before 2014.
Yeah, that's right.
As you can tell, I had scribbled.
And it wasn't there, nothing?
And it's
Well, it's interesting,
after-
2014 is when the landfill closed, isn't it?
Yeah, because he also made some changes in the titles up top here. too. So let me, I'm distracting myself here.
Okay.
I can't find it. Okay. It had a yes under industrial zone 2.
So, okay, so that's where you put, so it did have a yes there and a Y there.
Yes, so then
Okay.
I was wondering,
So when it got transferred over, it was left out. That's what Jim was saying.
so do you want it,
So if that's the case, it's a simple edit.
Right.
yeah, so do you want special permit planning board? It's only allowed under industrial 2. Industrial district,
If it's allowed, it doesn't need a special permit. It needs a site plan approval.
well, industrial 2, industrial district limited landfill, solid waste management and recycling use.
Right. Planning board, special permit.
No site plan approval.
I mean, site plan approval. That's it, right.
You want the whole 9 yards or just a special permit?
No, no special permit, because it's allowed by right, which is a yes. So it's planning board, site plan approval,
Okay, so that'll
right?
go in place of the yes. The next one down, oop, are we okay there, Jim?
Yeah.
The next one down, 3.6.7, research and development laboratory. It just had SPA, site plan approval. By whom?
There's only one authority that can give site plan approval.
Planning board.
But a special permit?
Is it a Y there? Is it yes?
The only thing that was there before was an SPA.
Which would be yes. Right. If it's an end, they can't have it.
It's yes with a string attached.
But like Jim said, the yes, they're allowed to have it.
The yes is use permitted, otherwise you do these
Well,
other things.
there shouldn't be yeses or nos. It should be site plan approval or
Special permit?
special permit.
Well, that's what she's saying. She took out the Y, she put in
That was on the one before that,
Right.
but on this one, it
planning
just
board,
said
site plan approval.
site plan approval, and it didn't say who, so I can clarify that.
Right, planning board PB.
And it's allowed in industrial 1, but not in industrial 2. That's the way it was before. Research and development. Industrial 2 is limited landfill, solid waste management, and recycling. So that would be okay then, to say no there. Okay,
Why there is going to be site plan approval, PB.
under 3.6,
3.66.
right. And 3.67 is site plan approval, planning board, and the next one over is at definition. Okay, following along, next page.
I have a quick question.
Whoop, yep.
Where it says SPBS, should that say SB now, select board?
Yes,
Where's
So
that?
that gives
all
me
the,
that-
all the BSs that are on here need to go to
It's that
SB.
earthwork one.
Like saying that,
Yes.
Yeah.
well, how do we go from 3.67 to 3.6?
To
is
what?
the- Never mind, it's just the title, never mind. It's just title. at the top.
Speaking of that, the last one in that category, manufacturing processing facility consistent with definition of renewable or alternative energy. it had, so, special site plan approval planning board, permit to, and the no, in two, I would assume. It's
What was
fine.
that what I had before?
On
Or no, nothing there.
manufacturing processing. I think that might be, oh, here it is. Right, marks are on the page before.
Okay, that,
Okay, it says SPA under industrial. Site plan approval.
What's on our industrial too?
Industrial 2 has a no. Everything had a no except for,
that goes back to the previous?
yep,
Okay, so
I got
that's,
that one here.
so that's fine.
So SP, I'm gonna change it to SPA planning board. You don't need a special permit?
If it's not there, it doesn't, you can't put it here without,
Okay.
without the town approving it.
Got it. Okay, next one. Home occupation.
Okay, so there wasn't a zone, so we need to go back and check the, what was sent to the AG's office.
For home occupation, is that what you're?
Correct.
Yes.
Because that zone wasn't, we can't reference the previous bylaws.
Because we didn't have that zone.
We didn't have that zone.
What about the same thing as the home professional office?
Correct.
Home studio and business?
Again, I think these are errors, editing errors from our,
Yeah, it's just, it's those
so
three,
we
four.
we just need to check to make sure with Kathy.
Kathy Kelly Reagan?
Correct. This was all, I'm pretty sure this was all part of the,
The 2014?
what was approved by the town in the warrant, and it was sent to the AG's office. It just never got incorporated back in here.
So that's gonna go for the next page as well.
The next page
Yeah.
is what, that's the end of
Lamb shop. And that is the end. And the charts after that didn't change.
it. So it would be good to know this before we schedule a hearing to change the other bylaws.
Yes. Good to, oh, yeah, I can go tomorrow and find out from Kathy.
And then the next step, correct me if I'm wrong, the next step would be to schedule a hearing. And get, for the bylaw changes that we're proposing, so that we're done with it, and then the next time there's a town meeting,
We can include it in the warrant articles.
We still have to send it to the select board too, for their, it's part of the process where they get it about the same time we start
That was a town meeting.
doing a public hearing.
yeah, that's fine.
That's how it makes its way to the town meeting.
So, what I'm going to do then is tidy this up, get rid of my purple and red, and I'll check with Kathy Kelly Reagan on those. Anything that says yes under,
Before you get rid of your purple and red,
Make sure.
we should have some of those to be able to show the public. This is what has been added. Meaning, in other words, there's not an awful lot of narration that's been added. You know, where it's broken out, they can see this is the additions.
Like something that different colors and what was changed, what's proposed to change.
so basically just the last column, because the others were just
And some of the stuff was
Yeah.
just missed, it wasn't carried over.
Yeah. So Village Center, okay. So I'll find out from Kathy tomorrow on that. And see what the actual, or get a copy of the actual reply back from the Attorney General and the paperwork that was done. And then we can vote on it.
Well, not so much what was sent back from him, but what the articles, what the warrants were, what was approved, what was sent to him.
Okay.
He wouldn't have, they wouldn't have taken issue with those site plan approvals or,
Okay. Okey dokey. Do you want to do a solar one the next time? Or do you want to even look at that? Did I give you anything on that?
wanna do what?
Solar?
Yes, seeing as we have that moratorium on now.
What moratorium?
Yeah.
That the select board did. No more solar,
But that's in process because it's actually, talking to Jay about that too, because the town's gonna move forward with that. Because you gotta show good faith that the town's moving forward. If the town wants to put a moratorium on, a hold on it. The select board can do a temporary one, but if the town's not moving forward trying to make it happen, then you can only do it for so long, so.
right, it's until July 1st, is it? June 30th?
Yeah, but it needs to come up to a town vote before then, because that's technically.
To do what?
The town's gotta approve a moratorium. The select board can temporarily put it into place, which
Which
They
is what
did.
the select board has done.
it is done. So, but the select board has shown good faith that we're moving forward with the moratorium, so the town's actually gotta vote on it to say yes or no.
So we need to submit something for moratorium? Or,
The
no?
select board does. The select board is the board that proposed it, that put it in place, the moratorium. So for us
So
to
they
move
just didn't
forward,
take the next step of
the
getting
next
it
step
done.
is it needs to go to the town meeting. to
And
the
this
town,
is all because, wasn't there?
There was changes that the state made in reference to the amounts and stuff like that cities and towns can charge for their areas and stuff like that. So we kind of wanted to put a hold on it, just based on private companies versus private land use, or the towns or cities allowing their usage of the
It was more
town.
restrictive to use town-owned
Yes,
property.
right. So trying to-
And that's what they're reviewing.
Right, so we can actually invite Jay if we want to a meeting. He was part of all that.
So,
We
so,
can invite
so
Jay Joyce to a
the
meeting.
moratorium was placed on large-scale,
Yes,
for what purpose? What was the moratorium?
because the state was changing the laws around it as far as what towns and cities could use, as far as what they're allowing for, to charge for it and stuff like that, where, it was opened up at one point for like a private business, but then if the town, because what happened to, you only allowed to have so much of it in one particular area, So they were concerned that a lot of your private businesses would have all your solar fields everywhere. And your towns that have town property that would have the ability to put solar panels on their property to obtain revenue for the cities and towns. So that's what we can call it. Jay Joyce went to the meetings and all that with it. He's actually the selectman that proposed the moratorium on it.
Yeah, I'd kind of like to hear, I'd like to hear
Yeah.
that.
I thought there was also something to do with the way it's written now. They couldn't, no, that wouldn't be right. I was gonna say, you couldn't put it on town-owned land. Or it was more beneficial for the private entities
Yes.
to
Yes.
put it on private landowners' property as opposed to approaching a community to see if the private solar people could rent or lease property from the town? Is that
Yeah,
what it was?
I'm basing
No,
everything off.
it was more so they didn't want to go through a town meeting and all that, that they have to go through for town-owned property.
It's much easier, the process was much easier for a private business to do it versus a town. So that's why I said we can invite Jay
So,
Joyce
so
to
the,
the meeting.
so the select board put a moratorium on large-scale mounted,
Yes, to put a hold on from
so that,
businesses to it.
so that the private sector can't do it, so that the town, to hold back so that the town could catch up? Is that what I'm
Well, I
hearing?
don't think that's the only reason.
Right, no one can do it because they put a moratorium on it for not just for private, but for town, so the town can't do it either. Because as I said, because the state was reviewing all their things with it, with the Green Community Act and stuff like that, so that's where they're changing things around, so that's why I think
And
Jay had,
this happened a while ago.
at least several months ago.
Yeah, I can't remember the ins and the outs. I
Yeah.
watched the meeting.
Yeah.
Because there was concern that Borrega had already submitted
Right.
application paperwork.
Right, and they were fine because they're already in the
They
process.
were grandfathered technically to go into the application process.
But the way, we need to tweak our bylaw, and I think you ought to put them in everybody's packet. The little triangle. And that is our solar bylaw you have there, 5.99. We could do an overlay district special for that. We could restrict the number of trees, acres of trees that are being taken down. Probably, oh, you got it, you don't have the thing on there. These are my questions. So, my question is, do you want to do this tonight or another night?
I think we'll do another night, you know, I said we can,
I know Belchtown is redoing theirs because they have everybody coming in to.
I think so we can invite Jay Joyce to a meeting.
Yeah, I'd like to hear what the details of the moratorium are before
So do you want me to let them know, or?
Yes?
Okay.
And then we would, actually, Jay could actually be put on the agenda as part of that, so there's no conflict of him and I being together.
Oh, yeah. And our next one is when Borrego's coming in, the 10th. So do you want him here for that one, or are we?
No, I mean, we're referring to more to what this moratorium is, that's what we're talking about, so I think it didn't even
Since
be
there's
next
already a
one.
moratorium on it, nothing is gonna happen. A moratorium, temporary moratorium issued by the Board of Selectmen, no other applicants are gonna be coming forward. It will give us a little bit of time to
Right.
get Borrega done.
What if somebody comes in, though?
They can't. They can, but as for now, that's why.
I question the authority of the select board if they can even do that. That would be like us changing a bylaw without bringing it to,
Which is why you're going for a town meeting with that now, right?
Yes. It's my understanding that the select board can put a temporary moratorium in place. However, there needs to be,
Some bylaw changes after that?
well, there needs to be progress with it. In other words, they can't just do it and sit idle and not do anything with it. Essentially, it's gotta show that we are doing something with it, and it's making its way to the town for the town to vote on, to say yes or no to it.
That's how it would be if you guys issued a temporary moratorium.
Now, Belchertown is redoing their bylaws, solar bylaw. Do you work with them at all?
I have not been,
Okay.
I didn't plan on.
I don't think they finalized it yet, but they were, I don't know. I would prefer not to see a whole lot more trees coming down than we already got coming down.
Right, there are some interesting things some communities are doing, like requiring that if a certain amount of trees come down, then that same amount of trees needs to be protected on the site for the duration of the project. There's things that, don't prevent new fields from being developed, but are sort of trying to address some of those impacts.
Can you send us the, any examples you might have of one set of?
Okay, I do have one.
Yeah, I think we need to get further educated.
Yeah,
Right, that's why I said we'll invite Jay to, obviously not next meeting, but meeting down the road.
You said Massachusetts, the state of,
The state of Massachusetts.
is looking at changing the rules and regulations. Are they all encompassing the entire regulation, or are they just chapter specific?
That's why Jay was part of all that. Jay went to the meetings, and so I think having him here, he can speak to it. I don't want to speak out of, and be wrong to speak to it. I know he went to it, yeah. That was his whole thing, so.
And there should be no concern about you two being in the same room. He's on that side of the table because he did speak at, remember we had a public hearing. I
right.
can't remember
He was,
which one it
he
was
said
for.
he was not there as a select board. He can be here as an energy
That's
committee
right,
member,
That's what he's here
Chair.
for, right?
yeah.
and that would solve that.
Right, and he's on our agenda as that person,
Mhm.
so.
So, you want to try for December 10th, or you think we're going to have?
Well, that we have,
We have-
the
We're gonna
solar,
have the presentation of the peer review
Yeah.
that night, right? So
Yeah.
that'll take
so
some
I'd
time.
push it off. We don't need,
Mhm.
so our
Then
next one-
becomes the question when, I mean, how many meetings are we going to have in December? Because our next meeting is the 10th, only if my calendar works here. And 2 weeks after that is the 24th.
This is Christmas Eve, and we'll not be meeting then.
And you have a 17th, I would assume, for the planning board.
The select board, yes, we do.
I'm sorry, the select board.
Yep.
Well, after the 10th, we'll be looking at 2019.
It's a good possibility, yeah. I
Yep.
don't think there's any need, unless we see a reason for us to meet before that.
The only thing would be the submissions for the bylaw changes. I can do the narrative, the whole narrative thing that we had to do, present.
For the public hearing.
I'll touch base too with Jim, I know it's. So, and at our December 10th meeting, we could talk about a future meeting.
And I could have those papers ready for then, if you wanted to discuss them then, or if you wanted to discuss them later. Because that's the only thing that would be holding up the public hearing. I would think.
What's that?
Yeah, just I don't know how much time that's gonna take with the solar company. We can put it on the agenda. I mean, it's up.
What's that? What did I miss?
The big narrative that goes to the town meetings as to why we're changing the bylaws, certain bylaws that we already voted on.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it all depends when the town meeting's gonna be too, so. I thought there was one scheduled coming up or something. Not sure, can't remember correctly.
But then we can't do it then. We have to wait until the next town meeting. In the meantime, we've got that one pretty important one that's
Right.
mucking up things. We should have a public hearing as soon as we can.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier, we should get the public hearing going for the proposed bylaw changes now, so that we're not scrambling trying to get it done when they schedule a town meeting.
We're talking about a date though. We're just saying, well, the next time we're meeting is the 10th. The next Monday we would have met is Christmas Eve. So we look at scheduling something somewhere else, or do we want to do it?
For the
on
hearing?
10th?
No, not for the hearing.
No.
For our own general discussion.
On the bylaws we've already been talking about for the last,
Yeah, and I don't understand why we have to do that if we've just done it.
I think it would take like 2 minutes to just say, yeah, these are okay to submit to the, well,
To the select board?
but maybe not do it yet, because at the public hearing,
We'd have to have in there input.
people might have some
Right.
other things to add to it.
But we have to submit something to the Board of Selectmen to be able to call a public hearing, is that correct?
No, I don't
Yes.
believe so.
No?
No.
No, I don't think we have a public hearing.
Oh, okay, just the town.
No, we can schedule our own public hearing, but they too
Okay.
need, they still need to go
I
through
misunderstood.
the bylaws.
No, we submit it so it goes
That
to,
we're changing.
to go to town meeting, goes on the
Yep,
agenda, I guess, if you will. for the town
After the hearing.
meeting.
right.
So, yeah, I guess, I mean, we can use the papers that we have with the changes on them, noted on them, that you've got in your packet there.
We can do that, the first
And-
15, 20 minutes, and then,
Yeah,
And then open the hearing for the solar fund.
yeah.
we can even have copies for people who want to go, follow through. Here's what it was, here's what we're changing.
At the hearing.
I'm losing you, aren't I?
At the hearing.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
right, not when we discuss it, not December 10th meeting, right. A future meeting, yes, okay, yeah.
A public hearing,
A public hearing,
Just not December 10th.
it's not December 10th.
no. So are we totally confused now?
Yes. I second that motion.
So at the December 10th meeting, we're just gonna discuss what we're gonna say, yes, this is what we wanna have at the public
Okay.
hearing, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I was suggesting.
Which I'm fine with.
And then we'll hand off to Kathy, ask her to schedule a hearing for us,
Yeah.
post it
Right.
with these changes, because that'll have to be on.
So the hearing, I would guess, isn't going to be until after Christmas.
Right, so about saying until 2019,
Okay.
just,
And we'll decide on the 10th when we're going to meet again.
right. I'm sure you're gonna have some Mondays you're not gonna be available for January.
Why do you assume that?
Past practice.
Good assumption. We
Okay.
could Sue can probably,
What about me?
I mean, we're holding you up here if you want to get going.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sue, there's a clip on that chair there, so you can-
Do you want to go through the 4 little action items?
Sure.
Take us all of 2 minutes.
Okay.
First one is for me. Ask Kathleen Leonard to set up public hearing for 59 Ferry Hill Road. She's waiting for them to bring in updated documents. They haven't done anything yet.
What's next?
So I asked her, asked Susan Wester for accounting today. Didn't you got that?
What's that?
That was the bill you...
Oh, the bill you just
Yeah.
paid, yep.
Follow up with, this is for you, follow up with Chris Martin regarding attorney reviewed bylaws. Done.
Yep, done.
And we're back to high school principal.
Haven't heard anything back, and I think they just posted again, right? You just said they,
Yeah,
We're
it's
back
on
on there.
GCAM and in those 3 newspapers.
yeah. I'll reach out to a couple of the people that showed interest last time. They kind of decided not to because they thought we had somebody. I think
Yeah.
they're just kind of showing interest because, but I'll reach back out to them. Is that it?
The fee's not that much, well, the Turley fee,
The what?
Turley Publications, the fee's not that much.
No, they're not, which is why we're using those instead of a couple $100 or so. Okay, we need a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
For a second.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.